At 5:30 in the morning, all these people are standing along the road. I'd be still in bed, sleeping. And you see some guy salute as you go by. And it just means a lot, you know. And all the escorts, all the cooperation through the whole state of Illinois. I was amazed, you know. No, it's been a phenomenal trip so far for me. All these nice guys, good people.
This is my first mission. It starts out with, we have 2 bombs stuck in the racks and we released about 30 seconds late. Bombing was visual, bridge was destroyed, flak was medium, but very accurate. Oxygen in the nose was knocked out and the co-pilot was hit in the right foot. Nothing serious. Received 3 flak holes and went through 3 flak areas. It was a beautiful day over Germany. Clear as a crystal. Did not see any fighters. That was the end of the mission. I really don't know why I started to write the book, unless it was just to show the kids later on. But otherwise it just sits on a shelf.
The worst experience of my life is when I came home and was getting ready to get off the airplane. They asked us to put on civilian clothes if we had it because there were so many people out there anti-Vietnam. And so on that trip, I just so happened to have a Vietnamese suit that I had made. So I had on the suit, pants, the coat, and Army t-shirt. And that's the way I walked off the plane. But the other guys that came behind me that didn't have it, they were throwing rotten tomatoes and eggs at them. I was in North Chicago at Great Lake Naval Base when they asked us to be in a parade, a Memorial Day parade. And I said, okay. They put us on the convertibles. And we riding down the street, and all of a sudden I got rotten tomatoes and eggs thrown at me. This here is the first time where I've seen people standing out and not throwing nothing at me but waving at me. So it's been a very rewarding experience for me.
You got the Air Medal after 6 missions, and our 6th mission turned out to be the worst mission we had. We were almost to the target when an engine failed. We couldn't keep up, so we started back for home on our own. We came out over the port of Emden, Germany. That's not where we were supposed to come out, that's where we came out. And they had 100 and some guns down there. And I think they all started firing at the same time. And they knocked out an engine, wounded our tail gunner, and wounded our waist gunner. When we got out over the North Sea, we had to dump all our extra equipment. Then we were losing altitude all the way back, but we still had enough altitude to clear the cliffs when we got to England. We landed at the first base we came to. And when the pilot pulled the throttles back, the number 2 engine wouldn't slow down, and the plane started to wing over, and he threw the throttles back on and tried to it took off at 80 miles an hour, which was our landing speed. We just missed the chimney of a building. When he came around the second time, then he cut the switches and the engines died, and paramedics were in the plane right away and took care of the wounded.
What was your job?
Psychological testing of pilots that were just coming out of ROTC training, and there was a group of 7 of us. I was the only woman, and our job was to test all ROTC pilots at that time to develop a test that would determine if they could take the pressures of all the way through training and be good pilots. We had what we called tin cans. They were old Quonset huts from the Second World War that they insulated to the point of making them almost gravity-free. We had to sit and view these pilots through the windows 24/7 to get how they were living in space. So I was in the bottom of the basement in the space program, because that's what aviation medicine turned into being, was a space program.
This is more than just a trek through the Midwest to get to our nation's capital. This is a soul-filling experience. So be joyful when it's time to enjoy the company of others. Be solemn when it is time to reflect. And perhaps most of all, be proud of what you've done for the United States of America. In this country, we say thank you for your service, and we mean it when we say it. You are our national treasure. We love and cherish all of you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
So we are just entering the flag from the 2 ladders. And they are chanting USA.
Right here, that's
From here to here is about 2 hours.
Okay.
And that's our next stop.
Gotcha.
And that's where we'll refuel at. Get you guys off the bus to stretch out a little bit.
In anticipation of your visit to Washington tomorrow, I offer that heartfelt welcome. These memorials are what your country has built for you to honor you and your service. Thank you for your service and welcome home.
Latest weather report is it's not going to start raining until after we get out of town. It's going to be a high of 68 and overcast, so those of you that don't like this lovely weather might want to put something on. Notice all the people stopping to wait to see you pass by? See him smiling? Yeah. Big smiles on their faces. Wait, where's all the people in front of us?
They're behind us.
Yeah.
Looking forward to revisiting Arlington. I was there in 1953, was the last time. I know a number of people that are buried there, and we won't have time to find their graves or anything like that, but just being there and the solemnity is awe-inspiring.
Our very first day into a battle combat zone, we had going down the road, and I recall this Jeep coming up the road with a quarter-ton trailer, and it was covered with a canvas tarp, and wondering, the thing was loaded with dead bodies, American boys, just dripping blood. This was our very first baptism into combat.
I was aboard of a destroyer escort
And our job, of course, was submarine patrol and escort duty. We had what we call a hedgehog, and it was like 24 rocket-type projectiles that fired at various degrees. And when they'd all get up in the air, they would form a circle. And if one would hit the sub, all 24 would go off. And we got one. We got a sub.
Well, when we got called, they put us on a train, and we went from Rockford all the way out to San Diego. And we were split up into groups. One group would go overseas with just a little bit of training, and the second group would go to boot camp. And I happened to be in the second group. I was in the 1st Marine Division, and we were part of the ones that relieved some of them that walked out Chosin Reservoir and got down to South Korea. We were under attack, and we were in a valley, and we got shelled for about an hour and a half. Some of us didn't have our foxholes dug yet, but it didn't take long for us to start digging.
Graduated boot camp. I was with an air wing, Marine Air Group 13, in the 1st Marine Brigade, and to me it was good duty. It was a lot of fun, but it wasn't what I thought the Marine Corps was, so I volunteered for recon and went into Vietnam August 61. My duty when I was overseas, I lived aboard a ship, and when I got a mission, we flew in 2-3 days. We were 2-man teams, and we were on our own. We carried no identification, no nothing. And we went in and we were mapping where trails went. We were mapping where we thought compounds would be. We were mapping where information would come in. We did a lot of things north of the 17th parallel. And 2-man teams, snoop and poop and run like hell.
Pilots got shot down. They had these junks, little ships that the Viet Cong be on, and they tried to get to the pilot before you send somebody off of the ship to go rescue the pilot. My job on my ship was to board that junk and let them know whether the pilot's on there or not. They had a pilot shot down off the Enterprise. Could hear him yelling over the radio to send help for him. The captain said that he's sending help and everything, but he knew he wasn't able to rescue him. And I heard him kept screaming to hurry up. After a while, you heard a whole lot of gunfire. That was it. It was quiet. You didn't hear him say anything else.
One of the things I remember my father telling me, the most special time when they were away, these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that were in faraway lands, and you think about how lonely they had to be. They would write to each other. My mother and my father would write literally 4 or 5 times a week to each other, and they called it V-mail back then. There's letters and things that the sensors would cut out of them, they couldn't tip off the enemy from the South Pacific. It's just amazing what they had to be like. So tonight, we want to send you home with your final mail call, okay? So when we call your names out, please, at the top of your lungs, acknowledge that you are here with us. I want to hear the 20-year-old voices that are still in there.
Bill Westphal.
Yeah. Wendell Olson, Chief Owens. Got it.
I had tears in my eyes over the mail call. It was quite an experience. And even when we were at the World War Memorial, a young lady come up to me and give me a carnation and a letter. Somebody that, didn't know me. Very heartfelt. It was something that I'll never forget.
I knew at an early age that a period of time in my life I would be in the service. And when people thank me, I tell them I only did what was expected of me. And so did a lot of other people. While we were on the mall in Washington, there was a lot of school children. And they all came up to shake our hand and thank us. And I was saying, just don't forget what these people did for you. And the children being there and visually seeing this wall and seeing our veterans, I'm sure it's a memory they'll have for a long time.
This is a great experience, this bus trip. It's very emotional at times with just people standing alongside the road with the flags and stuff like that. It makes you really appreciate what you did and appreciate how they feel about what you did for them to make sure that everybody is peaceful.
VetsRoll. Outstanding. All people that put it on are outstanding.
Look back over to your left here, and here's what we've held up coming up out of Illinois tonight. That's a lot of traffic.
People taking time out from the bar to say hi.
Hey, Mom, for me, I'll come home, sir.
More up here on the left.